Hello there and welcome to this Astranti video where we will be going through the survey results that we received from students who sat the February 2021 exam sitting for PryBlocks. Now this is the final sit-in for this pre-scene company and the next MCS case study will be on a new pre-scene company. So consider using any information you find useful in this video to help you prepare for the next exam. Starting with the exam difficulty, the majority of students actually found this exam to be quite difficult. This is actually quite surprising as most students from previous sittings and including the other modules actually found their exams to be as expected in terms of difficulty. So MCS is a bit of an outlier in this respect. Now the reason for this from the survey responses we received was that one or more of the variants had awkward questions in it. And these questions tended to focus on more of the technical aspects of the CIMA syllabus rather than applying practical knowledge, which is again unusual as CIMA does stress to us that they want to test your practical knowledge in the exam rather than theoretical. And if we move on and look at what students wished they had done more of, we can see that they wish they did more theory revision, which is interesting because usually it's the mock exams that students wish they had done more of, followed by time management. Now my view is that this exam sitting might be something of an outlier, like I said. Past exam surveys and even surveys from OCS and SCS indicate that the MCS really is something of an outlier. It was much more difficult than the other exams and past exams alike. So where do we go from here? What can we do with this information? Well, I'll always recommend sitting the mock exams because you learn how to manage your time and apply your theoretical knowledge, which is very different to the objective test exams. While revising theories, of course, is very important, you've got to know how to apply it in a mock exam scenario as well. And better yet, you can even use the mocks to spot weaknesses in your theoretical knowledge so you can fill in those gaps. Understanding the revision, understanding your theory, and then actually applying it can be, again, very different things. And so you need to fill in those weaknesses where you find them. So I still think your priority should be mock practice. That being said, if you want some topics to consider looking at, just in case for a future sit-in, it was goodwill and cost management topics that seemed to throw some students in the February sit-in. So if you want to maybe cover yourself just in case, it was goodwill and cost management in terms of theory. Now in contrast to this information, we also have some responses from students considering what they wish they had done less of. The one that frequently comes up is the industry research and analysis. So with industry analysis, it's there to help you get some context for the business environment the pre-scene company exists in. And its most useful feature is that it gives you some industry examples you could potentially use in your exam answers, which can impress the examiner and give you some extra marks. So there's a benefit to it. Having said that, I do agree with what the students here are saying, and that it is generally something you shouldn't spend the majority of your time revising. It's something you should refer back to, pull up examples from as and when you need it, and more of your time should be spent on things like mocks, as they will have a bigger impact on your exam success. Then as for the pre-scene, well, you can't pass the exam without knowing what the pre-scene company is all about, but you also shouldn't be spending the majority of your revision time reading it. You need to look at the analysis, yes, but you crucially need to be applying the information to the mock scenarios because that's what you'll be doing in the exam. You'll be getting unseen material, you'll be getting questions, and you'll need to pull the relevant information from the pre-scene. You're not going to be using all of it. So it's most important you get a good understanding of the company and remember crucial details from the pre-scene. So things like who's in charge, any kind of or operations that the business conducts, maybe some numerical statistics that you might want to pull up. Things that will take time for you to look for if you have to use it in the exam. You want to keep those in your head, otherwise you're wasting precious time looking through the pre-scene trying to find that key bit of information you wish you had. And some students did actually find the revision of theory to be of less use. Obviously this is different to the previous slide, but generally speaking I will say that you should be revising your theory. You need to understand certain theoretical concepts in order to answer certain questions, most notably in the F-type topics where you might need to apply financial standards. And so you do need that technical knowledge in order to answer those questions competently. But understanding the theory is very different to applying it to a scenario in the exam. So again, while you should be revising your theory, it's important to learn how to apply it through mock practice as well. Our last question then asks some students what tips they would give to future students rather, and we've generalized their responses in these points. First point doesn't really ever change from survey to survey, and that's to practice mocks, and then the second one is to nail time management. You can write a beautiful answer to one subtask, but if you took 30 minutes to write it, you've potentially just lost many more marks by needing to rush your remaining subtasks. So manage your time carefully, and you can do that by sitting mock exams where you'll be assessed and you can get that time in right. Answer planning is a good bit of advice some students have given as well, but also consider the time you spend in planning the question as well. Creating a brief structure before you write will help you focus your answer, yes, but spend no longer than maybe 1 to 2 minutes writing out that plan. Because otherwise you run the risk of actually spending more time planning it than writing it, and the writing is what's going to get you marks. Lastly, review the theory. While the exam does look to assess your practical application, you also cannot answer more technical questions if you don't know the theory in the first place, so don't neglect your revision in this area either. Now, while I've got your attention at the end of this video, I'd like to make you aware of the other products that Astranti sell as part of the case study course. So the first of these is a series of study text and tuition videos, and these come in two flavors. You have our written study text if you prefer learning through reading, or you can watch our videos if you're more of a visual learner. Now to start with, we have an exam technique study series which breaks down how to succeed at various case study levels. We'll be looking at exam technique, writing style and planning that you need to nail to be successful in your case study exams. And to accompany this, we also have a revision series dedicated to the theory side of things. This is because at the case study level, there is a large amount of theory you need to be capable of using in your case study exam. So what we've done here is we've taken the key areas of the theory from the 3 case study levels and condensed them into a series of chapters to help focus your revision. Moving away from the more generic products and onto the products that are specific to the case study pre-scene, the first of these is the pre-scene analysis video series. First and foremost, this contains a series of videos where we break down the relevant pre-scene at the appropriate level of the qualification, page by page. And throughout this video, we bring out all the key points that could be relevant for you in your exam, looking at various topics and things you might need to consider when revising for the case study. And then to supplement the pre-scene analysis, we also have 2 videos. We have the strategic analysis where we give a broad overview of what kind of strategy the pre-scene company is using and where it might be going in the future. And then we also look at the top 10 issues that we think this pre-scene company might be subject to and something that you may need to take into consideration when revising for the case study. We then provide an industry analysis document and accompanying video. CIMA like to see you demonstrate wider industry knowledge in your exam, and this is what this industry analysis does, as it gives you the wider industry knowledge you need in order to fulfill this requirement. Essentially what it is, it's a large document that we've compiled on all the relevant industry information that we have gathered so that you don't have to do the revision yourself. And then to accompany this, we of course have a video that goes over this document to pick out some of the key points for you if you prefer that. We also produce a number of mock exams for every sitting. We write 5 mock exams for the first exam sitting, and then we add 2 more supplementary mocks for the second exam sitting. We design these mocks around the specific issues relevant to the pre-scene and make them as close to the real thing as you will see in the case study exam as possible. So these are a great way to practice your exam technique and test your knowledge of the pre-scene company under timed conditions. And then to add value to this product, we also offer a marking and feedback service. So we have a range of highly skilled finance professionals working as freelance staff for us, and it is these staff that provide the marking and feedback service. So this is a great service to use in conjunction with our mock exams, as it gives you a great idea of how you're progressing in the areas you need to work on for your case study exam. And then if you're in need of extra exam practice, we also provide a more generic question pack product. So obviously there are only so many questions you could write about on a specific pre-scene. So what this question pack is a series of generic questions on generic scenarios that we come up with at Astranti, whereby we look to test specific topics that come up regularly in the case study exam. So if there is a particular topic you are struggling with and we've only tested once in our mocks, and you'd like more practice on it, then these question packs will be a great product for you to turn to. The penultimate product on this list is a product for those of you who would like to get a full overriding picture in terms of your revision all at once, and these are our masterclasses. So these are our expert tutors who hold 2 masterclasses every exam sitting, and these essentially cover all key aspects that you're going to need to know for your relevant exams. So from particular theories to analyses of the pre-scene, all the way through to tips and tricks you can use in your exam. And finally, such is the confidence we have in the quality of our product that if you do purchase a full course from us and you unfortunately do not pass your exam using our product, then we will offer what we call a pass guarantee. So if you did not pass your exam after purchasing our full course, then you will receive the materials for the next exam sitting free of charge. Okay, thank you very much for listening to that. I hope you find our products useful, and of course I would like to wish you the best of luck in your exam from everyone at Astranti.